Namaste and welcome, beloved members of the Jyotish community. I'm so excited. Today is such a special day. Some of you may know I run a certification, a Jyotish certification school, and I have my official second graduate who's going to be presenting some research on the upcoming lunar cycle today. I'd like to introduce you all to Bhavani Das. Namaste ji.
Namaste.
If you're wondering how to get a hold of Bhavani Das, there's a few different ways. There's BhavaniVedicAstrology.com. There's Facebook.com/Bhavani Vedic Astrology. And she's starting a YouTube channel, what you'll find a link for in the description of the video. If you want to check out her website, I think it's designed quite beautifully. And if you want to make a reservation, she's doing very reasonably priced readings right now, as you can see. So it's a great opportunity, through my school and my lineage. Bhavani Das is incredibly gifted. So I highly suggest getting a consultation from her at these amazing prices that she's offering. But what she's here to discuss today is this upcoming lunar cycle in Libra and K2's involvement. And we're all so excited to hear about it. So the floor is yours, Bhavani Das. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Ksanati. I'm so excited to be here with you to discuss our upcoming new moon in Libra happening on October 25th. The new moon is, I want to discuss a little bit about that, which is basically shadowed by the Earth and appears to be dark in the sky. So if you look up, on the 25th of October, you may not be able to see the moon at all in the sky, as opposed to a full moon that is completely illuminated. And during a new moon, it's a great time for new beginnings and setting new goals in our life. I want to also let you know that the moon symbolizes in Vedic astrology, we call the moon Chandra, and it is the emblem of devotion. And it also represents our mind, our mood, our emotional nature, our intuition, and our devotional nature, like who we're devoted to, higher powers or darker powers. And so things of this nature will be shined on. The moon is presented in the sign of Libra. And Libra represents our need to achieve balance in relationships, whether it's relationships with our partners, relationship with our business partners, our family, and also finding out who we're devoted to and who's devoted to us underneath this new moon. So are we having harmonious relationships, or are they codependent in a sense? And how we can transmute these energies and decide whether these relationships are, serving us for a higher purpose, and ones that are not will be removed. As you mentioned, Ksanati, this new moon is going to be in conjunction with K2. And K2 is the south node. So it's a partial solar eclipse that we're experiencing. And the new moon is a conjunction of the sun and moon together, where a full moon is the opposition of the moon and the sun. And so all three of these are aligned on this day. And what K2 represents is, a need for, it's going to create obstacles and challenges. So with the sign of Libra, it might be obstacles and challenges when it comes to our relationships. And also with the moon, how our emotional nature is with these relationships. Are we vibrating high, or are they sucking, the energy from us? And this new moon is going to, in conjunction with K2, is going to, perhaps remove some relationships that are not serving us for our highest good, or create challenges and obstacles in them. And so underneath this new moon, we want to know what's bringing us pleasure and what's serving us. So things that we could be indulging in during this new moon are all things Venusian, which is the planetary ruler of Libra. And things like going out to eat, having the dessert, shopping things that are of beauty, like beauty products, getting a massage, getting a facial, getting your hair done, maybe even shopping for some artwork. And during this time that we are spoiling ourselves, we don't want to overindulge, and we don't want to overindulge in anything that's toxic for us, that would affect our mood and our mind, such as, drugs or alcohol. We want to stay clear of those things and only put the best things that are, for our highest good. So with the new moon in Libra conjunct with Ketu, which is causing some obstacles in our relationships from the past, a past life karma is also something that is coming to play with this new moon. I would like to discuss how it's going to affect some of the ascendants or all of the ascendants. And because the new moon is in Libra, I would like to start off with people that have a Libra ascendant. So Libra ascendants having this conjunction with the new moon and in Ketu is potentially going to bring up, initiation for you to change your physical body. So maybe going on a diet and focusing on yourself, because Libra is typically a sign that is associated with relationships. So now is the time for Libras to be a little bit selfish and focus on themselves and creating, maybe a healthy diet. And Scorpio, this moon is transiting the 12th house of Scorpio. And the 12th house is all about enlightenment and liberation and maybe long distance travels. So it would be a great time to maybe go on a long trip. Also, it's a good time to actually, be in solitude and connect with yourself and rejuvenate yourself and get some extra sleep. It could also, on the negative side, remove things very abruptly from your life. And, you could experience some sort of deep loss. With the sign of Sagittarius, the new moon is transiting the 11th house, which is all about your social networks, your tribe, the people that you connect with on a larger scale, like your social media networks. So this is impacting Sagittarius risings in this nature. So it could give you new beginnings with establishing, your tribe and finding new people that are connected with you, with where you're going from today forward, moving forward and leaving, some relationships and friendships and social circles behind that are not serving your highest good, and pushing forward with new opportunities for growth in your new social circles and meeting and connecting with new people. So it could be, it could be challenging, when you lose friends, but at the same breath, you're gaining new connections and new support groups. In the sign of Capricorn and those with Capricorn ascendants, it's transitioning your 10th house, which is of your career and your work. So you could be experiencing new beginnings, maybe starting a new job, having a new boss or new employees. It also can, have you be interested in striking a balance, like from home and work. This axis is hitting, like, are you going to spend time at home, or are you going to be spending more time at work? And what's important to you right now in relationship to, your home life and work life? And in Aquarius, it's happening in your 9th house. So you could be presented with new teachers. And also maybe studying a new religion or just diving into your religious practices. It also has to do with, traveling as well. So you could find yourself traveling a little bit during this time.
I will be traveling. I'm an Aquarius ascendant, and I'll be traveling during that time.
I love that. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Ksanati. It also could be a time where maybe we lose a teacher or we start teaching projects, we're introduced to other teachers. That's also another thing, or we're teaching new subjects. And I know, Ksanati, you're a teacher. Thank you. And then onward to Pisces, which is this new moon in Libra is going to be transiting your 8th house, which is the 8th house represents all deep psychological, death and rebirth. So complete transformation. And it transiting the 8th house for Pisces, It also represents, astrology. So this might be a good time to study, astrology or the occult and or deep psychological issues, and completely transform from them. You might be experiencing a complete death and rebirth right now. In your life personally, and also with deep connections, establishing deep connections and deeper connections with those that are close to you, like your partner or friend circle, and having those deep psychological conversations with them, and getting to know them a little bit, on a deeper scale, or diving deep into some astrology studies. Um, and of course, on a negative, the eighth house, it could, with K2 presented on the new moon, you could experience a loss or a death of somebody. And I hope that's not the case. And for Aries, it's transiting the seventh house. So it's time to reharmonize relationships. The seventh house is Libra's natural placement, is in the seventh house. So for Aries, it might be a really good time to deepen your business partner relationships, or, finding a new business partner presented, and maybe an old business partner might be removed. Also, personal life, your personal partner, your husband or wife. You could be, strengthening that relationship, or finding out that those things are coming to an end. You might be severing and going through a divorce. That would be a negative thing. And, but, with this transit, we just have to remember to be graceful and let things go that are not meant for us, and not to fight a fight during this time. Taurus, this new moon is going to be in the sixth house, which your sixth house is health, your daily routine, and your work. And, it could bring new beginnings to you with health, also with, your diet. Maybe a new job is presented, a new way to generate income is presented, an old way, that you've made money in the past might be, not working out for you and being removed. Maybe a routine that you're experiencing is not for your highest good. And so we need to, rein in those things and work towards a more positive, healthy lifestyle and work ethics. So if your work ethic is not, a prize, a priority right now, it will illuminate it and have you have new beginnings in your work and daily routines. In the fifth house, for Gemini, it's happening in an area of the chart that has to do with, dreams and desires, and having a fresh start with things that you find pleasure in, perhaps connecting with children. Goals that you have from the past might come to fruition now during this new moon. Also, if, with children, they also could be presented with having challenges in their life. So Gemini ascendants might have to focus a little bit more on their children, and, make sure that their health is okay and their well-being is okay. It also represents, love affairs in the fifth house. So maybe, a new partner can come into your house under this new moon. Or a partner could be removed from you under this new moon. So going on to Cancer, this new moon is going to be in the fourth house. And so this is a natural place for the moon to be. And so the focus for Cancers might be on their mother, or rebalancing their home and family life. You might be buying a new home, moving into a new home. Although you may also, on a negative point, maybe having issues at home, or issues with your mother and struggles with your mother, and having obstacles, around that. And on to Leo in the third house, which is siblings and neighbors, represents a time that Leos might be doing a lot of short distance travel and communicating with some friends and family that, or neighbors and friends that they haven't communicated with in a while. In the negative aspect, it may present challenges with some neighbors that you might have, or siblings. And then Virgo in the second house is transiting a house that is related to your relationship with money and your savings account. So for Virgos, the new moon could potentially shine a new beginning on how to generate money and how to save money, and maybe, investing money that will help generate money. It also could be a point that maybe you're losing money, that you're not able to generate the money that you thought from an investment. It doesn't come through. And so I think that we discussed all the 12 signs. And, I just would like to share with you that, this is a time where Libra represents, diplomacy and grace and peace of mind. And so things that don't bring you pleasure and peace of mind, you at this time with K2 must let them go with grace and ease, and allow, your higher self to guide you to new beginnings, and allow things that are not meant for your life from this point on to fall away.
You've made me absolutely so proud. Your presentation of this lunar cycle's effect on every ascendant, and bringing K2 into such detail so that everyone can relate to it. It's exactly what people need to hear. They need that support in their lives. So I want to thank Bhavani Das for joining us today. There are going to be many more collaborations in the future. Again, if you would like to get a hold of her, it's BhavaniVedicAstrology.com, and there will be a link to her YouTube in the description of the video. So many blessings. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Ksanati.